Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon, so now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language, and she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
It's like a loop machine.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
It's like a loop machine. It's like a loop machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the swag is back. The Lady Rattlers and the Lady Tigers start the show. Then, the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the swag title, but FAMU anxiously await their arrival. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go, why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
It's like a loop machine.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield, never not working.
It's like a loop machine.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
That spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on? Sure. It's wireless. Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password? Buick Envision 2021. Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable. That's a really tight spot. Don't worry. I used to hate parallel parking. Me too. Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you. All of you.
It's like a loop machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the SWAC is back. Florida A&M Rattlers, Texas Southern Tigers, where you at? First, the ladies of the Rattlers and Tigers start the show. Then, the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the SWAC title. The FAMU's fierce on the floor and anxiously await their arrival. This HBCU showcase will be electric. Don't miss it. TSU, FAMU, pull up, tap in. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language, and she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
It's like a loop machine.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
It's like a loop machine. It's like a loop machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the SWAC is back. The Lady Rattlers and the Lady Tigers start the show. Then, the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the SWAC title. The FAMU anxiously await their arrival. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go, why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
It's like a loop machine.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield, never not working.
It's like a loop machine.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
That spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on? Sure, it's wireless. Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password? Buick Envision 2021. Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable. That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking. Me too. Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
It's like a loop machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the SWAC is back. Florida A&M Rattlers, Texas Southern Tigers, where you at? First, the ladies of the Rattlers and Tigers start the show. Then, the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the SWAC title. The FAMU's fierce on the floor and anxiously await their arrival. This HBCU showcase will be electric. Don't miss it. TSU, FAMU, pull up, tap in. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language, and she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
It's like a loop machine.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
It's like a loop machine. It's like a loop machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the SWAC is back. The Lady Rattlers and the Lady Tigers start the show. Then, the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the SWAC title. The FAMU anxiously await their arrival. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go, why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
It's like a loop machine.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head and Shoulder Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head and Shoulder Scalp Shield, never not working.
It's like a loop machine.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
That spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on? Sure, it's wireless. Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password? Buick Envision 2021. Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable. That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking. Me too. Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you. All of you.
It's like a loop machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the SWAC is back. Florida A&M Rattlers, Texas Southern Tigers, where you at? First, the ladies of the Rattlers and Tigers start the show. Then, the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the SWAC title. The FAMU's fierce on the floor and anxiously await their arrival. This HBCU showcase will be electric. Don't miss it. TSU, FAMU, pull up, tap in. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language, and she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
It's like a loop machine.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival. This is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
It's like a loot machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the swag is back. The Lady Rattlers and the Lady Tigers start the show. Then, the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the swag title, but FAMU anxiously await their arrival. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
And that is it. Good afternoon, everyone. How you doing? Just having a little technical difficulties getting some things going here. This is Roy Evans. You are watching the BCSN GameTime Watch Party. It is a national signing day. Ready to go. HBCUs are in the news all over the place. Folks flipping from one school to the next, from Power Fives to HBCUs. And today I have two of the most prolific HBCU sports football analysts. Of course, you guys know, listen here, let me do this right. On this side up here, to my top right is Mr. BJ Jones. Of course, you all know him from Inside HBCU Football right here on the Black College Sports Network, or as we like to call him around these parts, the HBCU football guru. So doing this thing, you're getting in. How you doing today, Mr. BJ?
Man, I'm doing good. It's signing day, man. Just waiting for all the surprises and all the dominoes to finally fall.
All right, all right. And to my top left, as you guys will see, all of my Rattlers, of course, know who this gentleman is, Mr. Marcus Green, who is our Rattler recruiting prognosticator, aficionado, guru, just all that stuff too. So Marcus, tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Marcus Green, FAMU graduate, of course. Just follow FAMU football and been tracking it since back in BJ's days, Billy Joe. And just trying to track recruiting, see how the team's doing, and just continued on.
All right, all right. Well, cool. So we are actually, I think we may have had a slight mix-up with, of course, time zones. We got folks all over the country who are going to be talking about coming in. We know we're going to be getting Coach Hue Jackson from Grambling State. He was scheduled in here. They're going to see about getting him in to let me know if he'll be in here shortly, or if we're going to have to push him to the next hour. We also are expecting Coach Willie Simmons from Florida A&M University to drop in at us around about 12:35. So we're going to be talking to him. BJ is already, hitting it up. BJ is like our Adam Schefter over there. He on the phone on it. Ta-da! getting it in and getting folks to drop in. So we're expecting a couple of folks from some other places. But let's start off with a little bit of a conversation, guys. Let's talk about what this year is like in comparison to previous years. When we talk about National Signing Day, how do you think this year is going to go down in history, and what impact will it have as we move forward in this? Let's start with you first, Marcus.
Well, I mean, we've seen unprecedented attention on HBCUs, and most notably due to the social upheaval, unrest, or what I guess you would call recognition from March 2020. As it relates to HBCU recruiting, we're seeing athletes who are now giving us the time of day. And actually, this is an appropriate interjection, because I was watching the 24/7 Sports segment on signing day about an hour ago. And they had Brian McFadden, former FSU and NFL player for the Steelers. And he mentioned that back in the day, and I checked his age, he's about 40, so maybe 22 years ago, he was being recruited. He said he was going to, he didn't name the school at first. He said, I just said FAMU. FAMU came to recruit me. And I was like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. And he was talking about how things have changed and how Coach Sanders coming in and Travis Hunter and Kevin Coleman making the commitments have changed the recruiting, the perspective. So in that sense, we have a change in the perspective of someone 20 years ago who basically brushed off arguably one of the best or second best coaches in FAMU's history with a scholarship offer, because the perception and the understanding or lack of understanding, if you can get to the NFL from an HBCU, to now we actually have kids giving us consideration and actually the number one prospect in the class of 22 actually committing to an HBCU.
Yeah, no doubt. BJ, what about you?
I think it's changed the game. If you look at, a few years ago, we got a couple of 3-stars, and it blew the roof off. It was a big deal. And now we've transitioned a few years back where the 3-star is the norm. It's the norm. It is not the wow, the boom that it once was. And now you have 5-star, 4-star guys signing out of the high school ranks. And we talked about, hey, the day that we get that 5-star, well, that day has come. The day that we get that 4-star, well, that day has also come. And now, man, we are recruiting in the age and the space that we dreamed of just a few short years ago. And the biggest thing is going to be continuing to capitalize on that, continue that momentum moving forward. And I think that recruiting is the entry point. When these young men come into these institutions, recruiting is the entry point, but the exit point is what we're also seeing. We saw what Akil Glass did last week in the NFLPA All-Star game, how his stock is shot up. Marquise Bell from Florida A&M, pro scouts are buzzing about him. Tyree Carter right now at the Senior Bowl. A lot of scouts talking about him yesterday. So now we see the entry point as well as the exit point, showing that full life of what it means to be at an HBCU. And when you put those things together and everything in between, it's big news for our schools, our student athletes and alums as well. And I just hope that we continue to see us push forward.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that one of the major things that we are seeing here, and like you both of you gentlemen have said, it is really about just the transition and the change of these kids really understanding that they can get to there from here, and here being our HBCUs and things of that nature. I am interested to see how some things are going to happen. And one of the things that I definitely want to talk to Coach about is Coach, and that's Coach Jackson. The announcement that was just made that all of their scholarship athletes are going to be on NIL deals. And that's something I'm like, Coach, talk to us a little bit. We want to talk about that, because I have been saying, BJ, and I don't know if you remember, but ever since that first school or the first state, which I want to say the first state that approved them was Louisiana. I know it was either Louisiana or Mississippi. It was one of the smaller states that approved the image and likeness legislation that went through their state legislature. And I said at that point, this is going to be the major factor that will change the game in big time recruiting. Yeah, big time recruiting. Because let's get real. You know, we all, Marcus, I don't know if you play football. I know me and BJ both played football in high school. BJ, of course, went on to do it in college. And I knew all the athletes in school. So we know how these Power 5 schools were getting these kids. You know, people can talk about all they want to, boosters and stuff coming around with the $100 and $1,000 handshakes. These kids have been getting paid for years. The difference is it's just been those schools with enough resources to hide it and to keep doing it that has made them set apart from all of from all the rest of the schools. But this NIL thing, man, this is going to be the great equalizer, I think. So what do you guys think about that?
BJ, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think with NIL, man, it's I don't have to have 30,000 students to have a prominent booster. I don't have to have 30,000 students and 100 living alumni to have a relationship with the business community in the area in which my school is located, which opens up the door to NIL opportunities for these young men. So I think NIL, it's leveling the playing field, and I think that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a lot of people think NIL and just automatically think football, but the student athletes with the most prominent NIL deals are the Olympic sports because of the following that a lot of those young ladies have. So I think NIL is leveling the playing field. And one of the things that when this came out, I remember I talked to you about this, Roy, is that our HBCUs have to get ahead of NIL. We can't just say NIL is coming, stick our heads in the sand and continue to do business the way that we always have done it. Now is the time to be innovative and be creative and adjust to this new wave of college football and collegiate athletics as a whole. But this is not going anywhere. You're either going to adjust or fall by the wayside. So I'm glad to see that we're adjusting and adapting pretty well so far.
Similar to what BJ was saying, but we have to come to play in terms of the NIL. Now, of course, some of the Power 5 schools and even some of the FCS or the Group of 5 schools at the FBS level and the FCS teams have decades head start with an unofficial NIL going on, and now they can make it above board. And they do have the boosters that even when HBCUs come to the table with an NIL deal, that outside of maybe someone like a Coach Sanders or Coach Prime and a Coach Jackson, those predominantly white colleges at the P5 and FCS level and Group of 5 have advantages in terms of alumni, businesses, and boosters and support that we're looking to catch up on. One other interesting book that I happened to have read recently, I think it's called The 50-Year, what was it called? The 50-Year Facade or something like that. And it speaks to how the NCAA came into power, whereas pretty much a moribund organization till the 50s, till the TV started coming, and they basically commandeered TV rights for nearly 40 years. And then 2 P5 schools, Oklahoma, UGA, sued the NCAA, saying it was a cartel for their TV rights. And you can put all the pieces together from that book and other things that you read or things that you know on how it came to be this behemoth of an industry, and NIL is a part of it. Unofficial for like the first 50 years, and now it's official as of last year. So we have a ways to go, but I think we have some of the support and some of the people who can do it, and just understanding that it's not going to be an overnight thing.
No doubt. We are, we've got to see that. And of course, it has been a big change. Of course, right now, one of the other things that we talk about in just general media is that there's talk, with all of the conference churning, as it's being called, there is a lot of talk about the Power 5s leaving the NCAA and pulling out, especially for football. And, seeing how that can happen just because of this thing, because the reality of it is, do they really need the NCAA when you talk about the Power Fives and what they're doing in football? I mean, how many times have we seen? I think we're at 4 right now. So how many times have you seen even what would be considered a mid-major FCS school in the big time opportunities to play for the national championship? I mean, who's playing for those? That's nobody but the Power 5 conferences. So, that's where the bulk of that money's going with the major bowl games that are going on. I actually was looking for an image. I'm going to pull it up here a little bit later. But we can't do anything with football like that. We don't do some sort of prediction. So what we're going to do here, and I know we've got some stuff out with all the verbals and the commitments. Most people are going to say that, yeah, we think Jackson State is going to win the draft or win the recruiting crown this year, or who's going to come in and, where are you going to be your top 10. But let's do this. I want each of you to give me, we're not even going to go 5 deep. Let's just go 3 deep for right now. Tell me the 3 teams that you think are going to have the best national signing day. Let's start with you on that one, Marcus.
Well, it's going to pain me to say, I guess, I don't know if FAMU is going to be in the top 3. Just because you look at Jackson State and you look just by mere fact of having Travis Hunter come, and then Keon Coleman, 2 top 50 players. I mean, not Keon Coleman, Kevin Coleman coming 2 top 50 players. I mean, they've got a head start. It's like if this were a 100-yard dash, they're basically goes the 80-yard line. So 100-meter dash, 180-meter line. So it's like, okay, they've got that much ahead, and they've recruited, and it seems like a lot of former Florida State players too, where they have some recruits that had high accolades, 3-star and above, from either Florida State, the state of Florida, or Mississippi. So I would say just on paper, they look like, kind of far and away. And next, I've been impressed with Grambling. Coach Jackson's come in, and I'm seeing left and right. This guy is accepted. This person is committed, whether it's a 3-star from California, a highly rated QB, a transfer that's flipping from a different school. Or so you have to be impressed with the speed with which he's caught up, having come in late in the recruiting season. And third, I guess, just based on traffic, it's kind of a toss-up between Alabama A&M and Alabama State. I think Alabama State's been really making some inroads in the transfer portal with some quality players. So I would have to say them is my top 3. And I'm hoping FAMU can change my mind and get in the top 3, but I just saw some disappointing news that would have helped that, but it is what it is.
So that was, for you, you said Grambling, Jackson State, and Alabama A&M, correct?
Flip Jackson State. I have Jackson State number 1, Grambling number 2.
Okay. Well, right. Those are the things. Gotcha. All right. BJ, what about you, man?
I'm going Jackson State at 1. You look at the headliners that they have. The kids are bringing in Travis Hunter. We know that he's a big fish there. So I'm going to go Jackson State at the 1 spot. Alabama A&M, to me, is a clear, solid number 2. You look at the work they were able to do in the transfer portal. Alabama A&M's class, they don't have a transfer Travis Hunter. But that class overall may be deeper than what Jackson State has so far. That remains to be seen. I'll let you know at the end of the day. Alabama A&M number 2. And then if we had to go with a 3 right now, I am leaning towards Grambling. With what they did with the young man coming from Lancaster and the DFW 4-star wide out. I think that helps with that class. We saw what they were able to do, bringing kids off of the West Coast. So I'm going to lean Grambling there. If there's someone who's close, right behind, I think Southern and FAMU are right there on Grambling's tails. They may have not gotten a 4-star and some of those other things, but if you look at the depth of what FAMU's been able to pull in and Southern's been able to pull in, it's quality kids that can play. So I think they're going to be right there as well.
Mm-hmm. Roy, let me make a correction. I meant Alabama A&M, not Alabama State. Even though Alabama State's been pulling in some transfers, I got it mixed up. Alabama A&M's the one's been pulling kids 3 stars left and right from the transfer portal.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's look. Coach Maynard is out there doing his thing, man. He is definitely looking to come in and make some things happen. Here's what we're gonna do, folks. We're gonna go ahead and take us a quick break right now, and we're gonna come back. We like I said, we should be expecting Coach Willie Simmons here in a few minutes, but we've already got some news, different things. We're gonna be running the feed up, running the Twitter feed, and we will go from there. So we'll be back with more right here. HBCU League Pass, BCSN. Game Time Watch Party. It's signing day. HBCU football all over the country.
It's like a loop machine.
Troy, you work here? I'm never not working. Like Head and Shoulder Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head and Shoulder Scalp Shield, never not working.
It's like a loop machine.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
That spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on? Sure, it's wireless. Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password? Buick Envision 2021. Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable. That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking. Me too. Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
It's like a loop machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the swag is back. Florida A&M Rattlers, Texas Southern Tigers, where you at? First, the ladies of the Rattlers and Tigers start the show. Then, the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the SWAC title. The FAMU's fierce on the floor and anxiously await their arrival. This HBCU showcase will be electric. Don't miss it. TSU, FAMU, pull up, tap in. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language, and she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
It's like a loop machine.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
It's like a loop machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the swag is back. The Lady Rattlers and the Lady Tigers start the show. Then the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the swag title, but FAMU anxiously await their arrival. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Sorry. Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
All right, everybody. Hello and welcome back to the BCSN Game Time National Signing Day show. Joining us now, all the Rattlers. We know you know who this fella is. Shotgun Willie in the building. Coach, how you feeling today?
Man, I'm blessed. Excited about signing day. This class we have coming in. So National Signing Day Wednesday is always a great time.
All right, well, cool. So we're gonna let the guys get in, and everybody's gonna we want to give everybody an opportunity to talk to you since they're on the screen and they're doing their things. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to be very nice guests, and we're going to start with Mr. BJ Jones and see if he has anything that, the Southern Jaguar over here, if he has anything he'd like to ask you, Coach, and we go into the conversation from there.
Coach Simmons, first of all, I want to say happy signing day to you. You're one of the most enthusiastic guys when it comes down to signing day and recruiting, and I know things are going well down there in Tallahassee, so happy signing day to you. With this signing day, we talked about this with the climate of HBCUs and kind of where we are. How have you seen the change this year compared to maybe 2-3 years ago, or even when you were at Prairie View? How have you seen the signing day or recruiting landscape change in the favor of HBCUs?
Well, first off, again, excited to be on the show today to talk about this class. But I guess it's a two-part answer. The recruiting landscape has changed significantly over the last 3 to 4 years. As we all can see, there's been a heightened awareness from prospective student athletes, many of these guys, 3, 4, and 5-star gentlemen, to really seriously consider what an HBCU education and football experience can provide. And so we've seen young men come to campuses on unofficial visits, and even now actually take one of their 5 official visits. We had a young man, a 4-star player, obviously, who official visited our campus a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, Coach Prime over at Jackson has signed the #1 player in the country in this class. There are other 4- and 5-star guys that have really, seriously considered it. So in that sense, it's changed tremendously. And then the other thing is the fact that, now it's become, signing day has become something that fans are excited about, much like our PWI counterparts. And so Rattler Nation and other HBCU fan bases are really paying attention to what today brings, because there will be some surprises. There will be some young men who shun offers from PWIs and Power 5 schools to attend HBCUs. And that's exciting for all of us. It's exciting for our programs, exciting for our culture. And I'm excited and happy about the way things are going, and hopefully we can continue to do so.
Thank you, Coach.
Marcus, go ahead. Get your question in.
Coach Simmons, I had a question for you as it relates to NIL, if you're able to speak on that. To what degree in the last year and a half has NIL altered your recruiting pitch, and to what degree have the recruits embraced coming to an HBCU with the thinking that NIL may level the field, or at least address some of the perceived disparities between HBCU athletics and those at PWIs?
Well, obviously, name, image, and likeness, or the acronym NIL, has really changed the landscape, and it's in many senses it's made for the rich to get richer, and so there is a strategy that has to be in place for HBCUs and other low resource institutions to try as much as we can to level the playing field, because we were already at a competitive disadvantage with facilities and some of the other infrastructure that Power 5 schools are afforded because of their huge TV contracts. But now when you add NIL to the mix and the ability for these young men to, in some cases, garner six-figure contracts as student athletes, has really made it to where we as staffs at this level have to be very strategic. And one, trying to secure means to provide NIL. We can't do it as far as the coaches in the school, but again, it's tapping into our alumni base in many senses. You look at a school like Texas A&M, their alumni came together and pooled money together, and so just finding creative ways to do so will be something that we all have to do to try to keep up with the Joneses. And so, but it has presented some opportunities, great opportunities for us to monetize, not monetize our student athletes, but provide an opportunity in a space for them to be able to capitalize on the name, image, and likeness. And when you look at a guy like Shedeur Sanders, who was the FCS Freshman of the Year, being able to ink a deal with Gatorade, it's tremendous that he has those opportunities. And who's to say that if he was at a PWI or Power 5, that he would have gotten that. So you come to this level, you play good football, you get national recognition. Major corporations are starting to take notice and willing to put their name and their brand on many of these young men. So again, it's an exciting time to be a student athlete in today's climate.
Thank you, Coach Simmons.
All right, Coach. So the next thing I'm going to do, and what I'm going to do, Mark, so I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. We're going to just have the conversation with Coach first about offering and what is the strategy about offering futures with students and everything. We don't even want to put the names up. We don't want nobody thinking that you're trying to do nothing, because he doesn't have anything to do with the graphics that we have created for the program.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that we get that going. So, Coach, just talk to us a little bit about how you offer kids in the future, and then I'll let Marcus, after you answer that and what your strategy is, if he has any follow-up questions, because that was something that he's definitely specific, engaged in. So he'll have a little bit more knowledge on that than us. But just tell us about that. What is that strategy like for you?
Well, a lot of times it starts with identifying prospective student athletes. And, we're not just offering every 4- and 5-star kid out there. We look at guys who have some kind of tie to Florida A&M, whether it be through an alum, maybe their parents, maybe a sibling, a church member, next door neighbor, but some reason that they've heard about Florida A&M. And so most of the guys that are quote unquote high profile student athletes, we've identified that there is a direct tie, right? Because again, that's recruiting. It's about relationships. So regardless of whether you're a Power 5 program or an HBCU, it's going to be hard to attract this young man, that respective young man, if you don't have a relationship with them, probably prior to them looking at your school. And so that's where it starts. And then, believe it or not, a lot of the young men either reach out to us or make it known publicly that they're interested in HBCUs. And so a handful of the guys that we've offered reached out to us first, and said, hey, Coach, I've heard about the program. I saw the documentary. We love the things you're doing down there. And I really want to see what HBCU life and culture is like. And so we began that relationship. And then in other senses, a guy may post something on his social media feed to say, hey, I got a bunch of offers, but I hadn't had an HBCU offer, which a young man from the class of 24 just did that last week. And then right after that, of course, he got an offer from FAMU, from Southern, from Grambling, I think Tennessee State. And so we all saw that tweet. And so we all shot our shot, and we'll start the recruiting process. And so, again, it's about identifying young men who have a passion for coming to an HBCU and then beginning the recruiting process, building relationships, getting them on campus, because if you can get them on campus, you have a chance. And we've been able to do that over the last couple of years. So that's our recruiting philosophy: identify guys that really have an affinity for HBCUs, and then start the process of getting to know them and allowing them to get to know us, with the hopes that we will have a shot at them in the future.
Okay. Marcus, you got any follow-up on that?
I kind of do, but I don't want to go into the details of names. But just looking at the offers for next year, we've offered, and this is, for our FAMU fans, we've offered the number one running back, number one defensive end, the number one linebacker, whom we offered as a ninth grader. And I sent him a tweet saying, I hope you don't forget us in 4 years when we first made that offer. We'll see if he forgets us in 4 years or if he remembers. We've offered the number 3 offensive lineman. I'm sorry, in their position rank, number 3 offensive lineman, who's 36 overall. So Coach Simmons and staff is really putting in the work. And this is more of a statement versus a question. But what can we do as fans and alums that would help support what you're trying to do with FAMU athletics?
I think the biggest thing, I think the biggest thing, and I tell alum this all the time, is continue to sell the good news. That is Florida A&M. Word of mouth is still a great recruiting tool. Most of the information that these young men receive is through word of mouth, right? We don't play on TV as much as our PWI Power 5 counterparts. So whereas a young man may grow up, I can remember, and many of you guys remember, back when we were coming up, our only game on TV every Saturday was Notre Dame, right? Because of their contract with NBC. And so most of us in some kind of capacity grew up Notre Dame fans, had no tie to the university, but we grew up Notre Dame fans because we saw them on TV a lot. That's how a lot of these young men first get familiar with universities. Well, the fact that we don't play on TV every Saturday or ESPN major networks every Saturday, the way young men get to know about us now is through word of mouth. So again, if you know a young man who, has a relative who graduated from FAMU and he's a high profile student athlete, hey, approach him about, his interest in possible interest in FAMU. Hey, would you really consider FAMU? Here's some reasons why, right? And, not just through social media, which you have to be careful with that if you're a booster, but if you can reach out and touch that person at church, at a football game or at wherever you see them, begin to talk to them about it, and tell them some of the things that we're going to say, because we're going to sell all the things that we do have. And so if he's hearing that message on the front end, we can reinforce it on the back end. And then we have tangible evidence to show him to support that. Then again, it makes him a lot more interested in the university. And then also we talked about NIL. It doesn't hurt if somebody's willing to cut, a check to one of these young men as well to say we're going to sponsor you and allow you to rep our brand. So again, all those little ways to do that, allow us to stay in the game. Like you said, I feel confident that, we'll see our fair share of 3, 4, 5-star young men, sign at FAMU here in the near future. And, we're going to continue to stay diligent and recruit them. We have a great product, academically, athletically, socially, spiritually, the whole nine. And the young man who graced this campus will tell you about the first class experience that they have at FAMU and why they all say that was the best decision that they ever made in their lives, even if they started their careers at other universities, because there is something special, brewing on the heights of Seven Hills in Tallahassee.
Thank you, Coach.
All right,
Coach,
BJ, you got anything else?
Yeah, Coach, this past fall, I want to say, man, with FAMU, you guys had the documentary, Why Not Us? And it's something that I enjoyed. Got a chance to, look inside your program and the hard work that you guys do. And I was already fond of Willie Simmons prior to that. But after that, man, I was more of a fan of you and the work that you do down there. So congratulations. But even in the fall, you had First Take down on the campus of Florida A&M. LeBron James and his partnership with the university. How has all of these things come together to kind of help you sell Florida A&M to recruits? And how has that even increased the curiosity of recruits in Florida A&M?
Well, you're absolutely right. There has been a heightened awareness of Florida A&M, and a lot of those things have a profound impact on it. We're in the age of branding. That's what NIL is all about. Young men branding themselves. But anytime you can attach yourself to a marquee brand, it immediately raises awareness, to the masses. And so when we say that we're the only school in America, not only HBCU, we're the only school in America with an exclusive apparel deal with LeBron James, right? Every student athlete grows up admiring LeBron James. If you ask many of them, he's the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. And so we can show them, hey, not only are we attached to LeBron James, but look at these LeBron James shoes that our basketball team plays in. Look at this LeBron James sweatshirt that we're able to walk around in. Look at the travel gear that we're going to have. Look at the fact that he goes on and plays basketball games in orange and green tennis shoes, right? And he reps Florida A&M. That says something to prospective student athletes. ESPN, right? The number one, sports network in the world, to be able to do a documentary on us. Chris Paul, another, marquee name. And so the fact that we can attach ourselves to these brands, First Take, Kevin Hart, Stephen A. Smith, all these individuals, again, has leveled the playing field for us, and again, I commend Jackson State and Grambling. They're hiring coaches who have that type of name recognition. I'm not that household name, right? Willie Simmons is in the Hall of Famer. I'm not a former NFL head coach, but the Florida A&M brand is as strong as it's ever been, and is one of the strongest brands in the country at this point because of the partnerships that we have. So we're going to continue to use those and highlight those as much as we can, and that has brought a lot of interest, not only to the university, as far as the football program, but to the university as a whole, and that's benefiting Rattler Nation, worldwide.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Coach Simmons. Well, like I said, we're going to be here for another few hours. That 35, that 30 mark at the bottom of the hour is yours. So if y'all get something special coming in that you want to share with us, if you want us to prime it, you can hit me with a text and we'll get you right back in if anything special is going on. But Coach, again, as always, I think this is your third year participating with us in this signing day thing. So first off, we want to say thank you for your continued support of what we're doing here. And I know that there was an announcement made previously about some stuff that's happening to Grambling. I can't remember if they made the announcement with you guys yet, but I'm going to check my sources before I put it out there. We may have to be able to come back and drop another announcement. They help give the Rattlers a little bit more shine in this process as they move forward today too. Because we already know about some stuff because we'll be down there helping to move it all along. So again, folks, this is head coach Willie Simmons of the Florida A&M Rattlers. Coach, before you get out of here, what do you want to say to Rattler Nation about today?
Well, again, we're excited about today. Obviously, we did have one surprise. We'll be able to announce that here soon. We, stole us a linebacker, from an SEC school, and we're very excited about that. 3-star young man, and we're going to drop some names here in the next 30 minutes or so. And obviously, everyone knows about the elephant in the room, the 4-star that we had on our campus that is showing us a lot of love. And if that fax or email comes through, I don't know if I'll be able to get back on the show. I'll be turning cartwheels and running up and down Tennessee Street with no clothes on. but no, man, just, today's always an exciting time. I remember my signing day. Ironically, I signed it over at Shanks High School, and the next thing I did, me and the 7 other guys that signed that day, we jumped in our cars with our suits on, and guess what we came? Straight to the set. We came to the set. We came to the set, man, our suits on. They thought we were SBI students, obviously, because we had our suits on. But no, man, it's just an exciting day. Young men get to realize their dream of playing major college football. Parents get to see that they're going to, allow the young men to go to school for free. And so it's just an amazing time across the country for many reasons. So we're excited to be a part of it. We won't make as much noise today as far as the number of guys we signed because we did a lot of our signing in the mid-year. But we'll debut the entire class tonight at the Moon. Doors open at 5 p.m. The event starts at 6. We'll debut the class. We'll have a Q&A, and we'll talk about the schedule for this fall. And after that, we'll have us a good old time, man. But just excited about the things that are happening on the Highest of 7 Hills. Follow us, FAMU Athletics, at FAMU Football _football. Follow me at HC Willie Simmons. Our coaches, again, just continue to support these young men, support this program. We're trending in the right direction. Great things are happening on the Highest of 7 Hills in Tallahassee, and we're just blessed to be able to represent the number 1 HBCU in the land, and also the number 1 institution in the land. So thank you guys, and look forward to catching up soon.
All right, Coach. One more time. What time is that event starting tonight?
Doors open at 5 p.m. and we'll start the event at 6 at the Moon. Of course, all y'all know what the Moon is. Y'all spent many Wednesdays and Saturdays at the Moon. They're off Lafayette Street. So. But again, we'll have a great time. $20 at the door, and we have food. We have some beverages, and it just give you a chance to just network with Rattler Nation and talk about this great class that we have today, and see the future of FAMU football.
Is that event going to be streamed for folks who aren't in Tallahassee?
I do think it'll be a streaming option. I'll get the information and text it to you so that you can promote it.
All right.
Like I was going to ask that.
All right, folks, once again, thank you, Coach Willie Simmons. We'll be back with more right after this.
It's like a loop machine.
Troy, you work here? I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulder Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head & Shoulder Scalp Shield, never not working.
It's like a loop machine.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
That spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on? Sure, it's wireless. Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password? Buick Envision 2021. Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable. That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking. Me too. Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
It's like a loop machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the SWAC is back. Florida A&M Rattlers, Texas Southern Tigers, where you at? First, the ladies of the Rattlers and Tigers start the show. Then, the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the SWAC title. The FAMU's fierce on the floor and anxiously await their arrival. This HBCU showcase will be electric. Don't miss it. TSU, FAMU, pull up, tap in. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language, and she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
It's like a loop machine.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
It's like a loop machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the swag is back. The Lady Rattlers and the Lady Tigers start the show. Then the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the swag title, but FAMU anxiously await their arrival. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Sorry. Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go, why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
It's like a loop machine.
Troy, you work here? I'm never not working. Like Head and Shoulder Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head and Shoulder Scalp Shield, never not working.
It's like a loop machine.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
That spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on? Sure, it's wireless. Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password? Buick Envision 2021. Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable. That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking. Me too. Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you.
All right, everybody. Hello and welcome back to the BCSN Game Time National Signing Day show. We're getting it going. Of course, joining me is Marcus Green and BJ Jones. Just finished a great conversation with head coach Willie Simmons of Florida A&M University. All right, so now that we got coach off, we can talk a little bit about some other stuff. I'm going to throw it out there anyway, and I'm going to start with BJ on this one as well. BJ, you tell me, knowing what you know as you talked about it, you watched the documentary, you've seen some of the things going on in Tallahassee. Where do you think, now that FAMU is in the SWAC, where do you see them in the hierarchy over the course of the next, say, by the end of the next 3 to 5 years?
FAMU's going to be right there at the top. When you look at what Willie Simmons has done since he's been at Florida A&M, has been remarkable. I mean, Willie Simmons could realistically have right now 3 conference championships. If we're keeping it honest, look at what he did in the MEAC. He was literally a pick 6 away from winning it in 2018. 2019 could have won it, but self-imposed sanctions. No 2020, but 2021, a 7-6 loss to Jackson State kept him out of the conference championship. Willie Simmons has literally been right there, close, no cigar. And he's right there to get FAMU their first outright conference championship in a long time. It's been a minute down there in Tallahassee. So I think over the next couple of years, I think that he gets over the hump. And you look at all the positive momentum that Florida A&M has right now. We talk about LeBron James. We talk about First Take. We're talking about the documentary and other things. #1 public HBCU in the United States. Willie Simmons is going to ride that momentum and get that football program to where it needs to be. So I think when it's all said and done, I think they're going to be right there in the top 2 or 3 programs in the conference.
All right, Marcus, what about you? Although I know you are slightly biased, but go ahead.
I am, but to be honest, I'm really dipping my toe into the SWAC as a conference because I hadn't really paid much attention prior to FAMU joining, not for lack of interest, but we're focused on the MEAC. So I don't have a good enough feel in terms of the overall SWAC, looking 5 years forward. But we'll say that FAMU will be in the mix. But if you look at this recruiting classes for this year and bringing in Hue Jackson and what Coach Sanders is doing, Coach Prime is doing, and how everyone's game has had to elevate, it's not going to be easy. I mean, I would say we're top 3, top 5, but everyone stepped their game up. So you can't really crown FAMU or anyone else as being as dominant as, say, we've seen some teams be in other conferences. But I think we'll be in the mix, based on the support, the recruiting, and the path of success that Coach Simmons has already laid since he's been here since 2018. And if you think about 2018, we were roughly one play against Jackson State when we didn't get the field goal unit on time, ran out of time. The Florida Classic where we threw that pick 6, we were marching down and could have. And then also when we went up to Howard and we were, I think, favored because we had gone on a 6-game winning streak and lost the game to Howard in kind of an upset fashion. We were literally 3 games that came down to the end or close to it from having 3 straight 9-win seasons. So his track record says, yes, we're always going to be in the mix, but the competition is elevating with the coaching, the transfer portal, and the recruiting. So I can't guarantee we're going to be in the top 2, but I think we're always going to be in the mix.
All right. Well, there we go with that. So let's do this now, Marcus. We're going to go ahead and run your graphics up.
Oh.
And you go ahead and let the folks know what each one of them is, and we're going to go from there. All right.
Well, certainly. Thank you.
We got about 7 minutes before Coach Jackson is going to be getting ready to join us too. So.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Now, starting with our verbal commits, these are young men who actually gave verbal commitments, or at least on Twitter. I don't know. Of course, the coaches have the inside intel. And these include some of the mid-year signees that I'm assuming is going to sign today. So we've got to keep an eye on those. And if you go to the FAMU website, there are only maybe 5 or 6 folks that signed in December. I think 3 JUCO offensive linemen, Zaire Riley, the high school DB from Gadsden County, TJ Dimas from Clearwater Central Catholic, and there's one more person that I'm not recalling right now, but we had about 6 signees, but we had a few other verbal commitments from transfers. And we had some recent ones in early January as well. So going through Kareem Burke, he is now, it sounds as though, at least according to his Twitter feed, that he signed and he's committed. We had verbal commitments from last summer from offensive lineman Christopher Williams. Jordan Gilly from Florida High, Florida State University School, the high school on Florida State's campus, actually committed verbally last night via his Twitter feed. There's a linebacker, Datirius Lee, out of Deerfield Beach that committed last August. Brendan Hall from Dixie County High School in Florida had verbally committed as well. And then we go on the series of transfers from either FCS or FBS level, just looking to hopefully confirm that they're coming. Between Jalen Goss, transfer from Florida State, Jeremy Musa, transfer quarterback from Vanderbilt, Jordan Moore from Kilgore Community College in Texas, but he also started out at Texas A&M as a 4-star recruit in the class of 2018. Destin Coates coming home to Tallahassee, running back at Georgia State, coming back for this year. And 2 Iowa State transfers, Eric Horn from Jacksonville Rains High School, and Kimani King, a DB from Iowa State, who's from the Tampa area. I don't recall the exact high school, but all of those are the verbal commits and just hoping to get confirmation today. Potential signees. Well, Christian Miller is the 4-star defensive lineman, and fortunate for him. So it's a blessing to be able to sign and go to a school and get your school paid for and play the sport that you love. But he did not sign with FAMU, so I'm a little disappointed. But he did come down to campus a couple weeks ago and had a visit and seemed like all was going well. So as far as potential signees, I think we can take him off the list, but this was pre his announcement at 12 noon. Some other folks who popped up this week, Cameron Segur, an athlete from Eagles Landing Christian Academy, Tyreek Thorpe, young man from Western High School. And these guys have some accolades coming out. And as I think we some of the trickle-down effect of the transfer portal and early signing days, that some quality athletes are coming to HBCUs, or at least getting offers to HBCUs that might otherwise have Group of 5 offers.
Marcus, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get you to let's put a pin in that for right now, because we actually do seem to have Coach Jackson preparing to come in. So we're gonna go ahead and get him in because we know these coaches are busy, so we don't want to hold them once we get them. And I know we've already got a few questions that we want to ask and give him an opportunity to talk to everyone about what's going on over there with G-Men and see how that's going to be. So I believe we're getting him. There he is.
Yeah.
Coach Hue Jackson.
Yes,
Coach
sir.
Jackson, how are you doing today?
I mean, I am fired up. What a day.
All right there. Well, again, everyone, we want to welcome. Many of you already know the face and know the name. The Gremlinites out there, they are all smiling from ear to ear. We have the legendary Coach Hue Jackson, who is now the head coach here at Hue Jackson, the new head coach at Grambling State, getting it going. Coach, we're going to do this. So, you know what? Because we are new to this space with us in the program, we're going to give you the opportunity to say whatever you want to say about your program and stuff. And then Marcus and BJ are going to have a couple of questions for you to get in there and get going. And then we'll talk to you a little bit about what you guys have going on as far as your recruits.
Well, thank you. What I would like to say is first, I'm just elated. First by our the Graham fan community. They've done a great job of helping us and being a part of this process as we recruit these student athletes. It's a very diverse group that we're going to bring here, a very talented group. We're going to add to the men that already exist on our campus. And we're looking forward to doing everything we can to restore the rich tradition and history here at Grambling State University.
All right. BJ, we're going to let you start off with your questions for Coach Jackson. Since Coach Jackson, just to let you know now, full disclosure, we don't like to bombard or just catch people off guard with anything. He is a former Southern Jaguar. So,
man, you hurt me. You hurt me. You had to go there first. Huh?
Go ahead, BJ.
Well, Coach, first of all, I want to say welcome to the SWAC and the HBCU ranks.
Thank you.
And I hope that you do a wonderful job up there at Grambling. Hollow grounds up there, the house that Eddie Robinson built. So nothing but respect for you and that program up there. How has it been, Coach? Transitioning from Tennessee State over to Grambling State. We know what that program means to not only HBCU football, but college football as a whole. And, walking in the same footsteps of Eddie Robinson and the greatness there, how has this last month or two been for one Hue Jackson?
Well, it's been one of, we've hit the ground running, I probably should say, but you just said something that's so true. To be here following the footsteps of the great Eddie Robinson, I wear that. I wear that every day. I want to do everything I can to bring back what I think should be one of the best HBCU programs in all of college football. And when I decided to take the job, I knew that came with it. So I immediately wanted to make sure that I had the right men around me. I was able to do that quickly, and we got to work. I don't know if there's a day that we've stopped because we understand recruiting is our lifeblood. We know we have to do it and do it at a high level. We know we have to put more talent on our football team as fast as we can to compete, to be the type of team we want to be. So we've worked at this every day. I'm so excited about my staff. I think it's one of the best staffs I've ever been involved with. But more so than that, I'm excited about the young men, the student athletes that made a decision to come with us to Grambling State University to get this program turned around.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach Jackson, Marcus Green, and full disclosure, I'm a FAMU Rattler, so hopefully
well, you don't get any better, right? We went from Southern to FAMU.
Yes. I guess one of my questions is, what first planted the seed for you to want to come to HBCUs and take leadership of a historic program like Grambling?
I think it started for me at Tennessee State, being with Eddie George, being a part of his program, seeing the impact that we were having on these young men's lives and their ability to have a chance to maybe play at the next level. Just to watch those guys really do anything that they thought that they needed to do to have a chance to be successful, that was refreshing for me. And then to look across, the HBCU landscape and see some really good coaches. Coach Simmons is as good as there is. Coach Sanders is in the league. You have Eddie George in the league. You have Coach Maynard, Coach Dooley. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, this is really competitive. And boy, when you start to see the schools, and for me to have a chance to be the head coach at what I consider the King Kong of the HBCUs, it gets no better than that.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Sure.
Hey, Coach, with this recruiting cycle, one of the things that jumped out to a lot of people was your ability to go to the West Coast and bring in some kids. And that's the West Coast has always been a hot topic for HBCU alums. Like, hey, we have kids that are reaching out saying, hey, I want the HBCU experience. You guys don't come out here, but to see you open that gate up has meant a lot. How has that been going to California, going out west, and pitching that Grambling brand?
It's been great. Obviously I'm from Los Angeles, so a lot of my relationships are still there. And so I'm able to kind of use that to our advantage. Obviously Long Beach Poly is one of the best high school football programs in all of Los Angeles. We were able to make, some impact there. We were able to make some impact at Alamany High School, and we hope to do more. But you said something that's so important. The Graham family, the chapters, the charter chapters that are there, they are so active in making sure that we know where all the great players are. So I'm just thankful that, when they say Graham family, it really does mean that. They are doing anything and everything they can to help the coaches know where these good players are, because they want to see their university do well.
Thank
you. Coach Jackson, I have a question for you as well. And it's something that I've noticed. I've tracked, I guess, generally Jack FAMU recruiting. So I haven't expanded yet to the full SWAC, and I've been doing that for a few years, going back to when Billy Joe was coaching FAMU. So that was 20 years ago. But what can Grambling do, I guess as a specific example, or HBCUs in general do to stem the flow of, I guess, the sons of HBCU alums who made it to the NFL, or even NFL players to consider HBCUs?
Well, I really think that that is changing. That dynamic's changing. I think players are starting to understand that, I'm sure through their dads, that it's not about the sparkle of the place. It's about the people that are in the place who are going to prepare you in the class, help you be better in the classroom, and who's going to prepare you to be better on the football field. I think the landscape of college football is starting to change. I think we can all see it. We deal now with the name, image, and likeness that all of a sudden that is starting to be everywhere. And I think we're all having to navigate that. But at the same time, I think these players are understanding we need to play, and we need to be in a place where people are going to give us the best environment for us to be the best we can be. You have the portal that you're dealing with now. So I kind of liken it a little bit to pro football, right? So recruiting is like drafting players, the portal is like free agency, and then you're going to trade because some players are going to leave just naturally. You're going to cut some players, trade some players. Those things are just going to happen. So I think when I look at it and I take it in with our staff, that's kind of the way we talk about it. So there's so many different buckets that you can get your team better. But at the same time, you have to understand the lay of the land. And I think the parents now understand it is truly more about the people now, instead of just the look and the Nike this, the Adidas that, this room, that room. Who are the people that's going to be around my kids day in and day out?
Thank you, Kurt. And actually, I have a quick follow-up, if I may. You must have been reading my mind, because I was writing down the question about the transfer portal. And do you believe that your NFL experience with free agency as a coach gives you an advantage in terms of the transfer portal, if they're analogous or if there's a parallel there?
I do, because I truly believe that talent doesn't fit everywhere. You know, we're looking for a certain type of student athlete to come to Grambling State University and play for us. So we have a profile of the players that we're looking for, just like I'm sure every school does. And so I think it's so important that when we go into the portal that we're very intentional on the player that we want to come play for us. And so it's not about getting all the most talented players. It's about getting the players that can play for you, that can stay in school, guys who will meet the demands every day of what it is to be a student athlete.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, well, Coach, thank you. Oh, BJ, you had something else?
Got one more. Got to go. Coach, today's already been a big day for you. Huge day for not only Grambling State University, but for HBCUs. And I say about an hour ago, outside the Dallas suburb of Lancaster, Texas, you dropped a bomb. There's one that's going to be talked about on the ESPN and CBS and everywhere else, and that's going to bring a lot of attention to Grambling. What does that mean for your program to get a commitment and a signee such as the one you were able to grab that chose Grambling over a lot of Power 5 schools?
Well, I think it's important. I mean, we have to be able to be in that space. And if we're going to be the type of football team we want to be, competing for championships year in, year out, we have to have those guys feel good about us, want to be a part of what we're selling at Grambling State University, wanting to be a part of that community, that environment in school, and want to have a chance to help us be the best we can be.
Thank you, Coach.
Sure.
All right, well, Coach, with that being said, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit, if you mind talking a little bit about it. I'm going to flash up actually the some of your Twitter feed here from Grambling and let some of the folks see. Let's see, let me make sure. Okay, let me get this thing right here to make sure we can get it in there so that I can get these things going down and we can talk about some of these kids. Because you guys have been on y'all Twitter feed has been exploding. as folks can see. So let's see if we start with this one. Xavier, is that Cosair?
Yeah, X-Man. We call him X-Man.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a defensive tackle from Long Beach City College. Tremendous player. Strength, speed, toughness. He has knockback. You know, he plays defensive tackle. He's versatile, can play on the end as well. But we're excited about having him be a part of our program.
All right. So now I'm curious. So I'm going to see the young man that BJ was just talking about. He is signed already.
I'm not. When you comment on him, that's when I'm going to comment on him.
Okay. Well, let's
Marcus laughing at me. I ain't taking that chance, Marcus.
There you go. Hey, listen, we understand, Coach. We don't want to get you in any trouble. So this one has been put out by the school. So we're going to Mr. Byron Jones.
Yes, Byron Jones is another defensive tackle. As you can see, a little statement being here. We need to make sure that we get bigger and stronger with these big guys. He's very physical, big man. I mean, he is all legs and butt and very strong. And boy, he has knockback. He has initial quickness. And boy, we're excited about him being a part of our program as well.
All right. Let's see here. Who's the next new G-man? Meldon
Capers. Yes, Melvin Capers. Yes. Another defensive tackle. Here we go. We stand in that area, these big bodies. Melvin's another defensive tackle, can play along the front. Maybe not as big as the last two, but very physical, great initial quickness, uses his hands really well. We're excited about what he brings to our football program as well.
All right, yeah. See, right now we're on it looking like it. So folks don't really need to be careful when they step up to come to play Grambling. Because if nothing else, y'all gonna be deep in that defensive tackle space.
Yes, sir.
Then we got Mr. Bradley Lewis,
Mhm.
another D line.
He's a defensive end. Yeah, so again, Bradley Lewis is a defensive end. He has great initial quickness. He's relentless to the football. He knows how to go get the quarterback and get the quarterback down on the ground. And again, we're excited about all these young men you just mentioned. Coach Delgado is going to be our defensive line coach. He will mentor these guys. He coached them out against Garrett. So we're excited about bringing these young men into the fold as defensive linemen and have a chance to learn under him.
Okay, well, we got two more, so we'll go ahead and see if we can talk about them. I think this one says committed Mr. Chance Williams.
Oh, wow.
Signed,
We call him Lamborghini because he can run. Oh, yeah. He's something about, we call him Lambo. Exceptional speed, quickness, short area quickness. I think he's one of the best young running backs in the country. We're excited about him. There's nothing he can't do with a football. He's a 3-down running back. And so he's going to bring some excitement to our offense.
All right. And the last one that we have on the list as of now, let's see here. Faison Wilson.
Woo! Big Faison Wilson. This guy is special. I mean, I don't know much that he can't do with a football. He can catch it. He can intercept it. He can do a lot of things, but he's going to play receiver for us. Big, strong, physical, tough, with top end speed, with unbelievable ball tracking skills. And so we're excited about having him as well.
All right. Now, BJ, is that the young man? I see he is from Lancaster. Is that the young man you were referring to?
Yeah.
Okay, there he is. So he signed.
BJ, you're right. BJ, he's special. BJ knows it now. That young man is special, and we're so glad to have him be a part of our program.
Well, Coach, listen, we do call BJ the guru of HBCU football, so we know he knows his stuff.
Yes, he does.
And Coach, we definitely want to. I appreciate all of your time that you're doing this, and I know we're going to get out, and hopefully, if you can get a few more in a little bit later, we'll get you back on. I've got two things that I want to ask you about. If you can talk about it, I know you guys have got an agreement and a deal going with our partners, HBCU League Pass and Urban Edge Networks. Can you talk a little bit about how that's going to impact and help you guys out?
Well, I think we're at the beginning stages of it. So I kind of want to make sure that before I roll it out is truly rolled out. I think it's going to really impact our student athletes tremendously, the university, and it should. I mean, that's just the day and age that we're in. But I'm just excited about where we are right now with it and exactly where we can go and just being on this network. I mean, this is amazing, and so this is going to be a special time and a special opportunity for us here at Grambling State University.
Okay, well, I can tell you we are definitely going to be looking forward to coming over and engaging with you all throughout this process. The last question I have to ask, Coach, it's a little bit off of the HBCU thing, if you don't mind, and if you don't want to comment on it, because I have no problem, I understand. But we have heard the breaking news of the things that are happening with Brian Flores down in Miami. I have a whole lot of mixed feelings about that. I am a born and bred Miami Dolphins fan and a fan my entire life, and was completely flabbergasted when he was released and as a coach after what he's done for the team. With this class action lawsuit that he has coming, which means it's not just him, there has to be other people who are going to be engaged in this conversation. What is your take on that, having been in the NFL? And, people say, we get a lot of just random, I'm trying to remember the exact words to use when they talk about the Rooney Rule and the interviews that they get. They're just things to say, hey, we did it. They weren't actual real interviews that people were even thinking about being considered. But talk to us a little bit about your feeling about what that situation is doing and just your input from someone who is in that space.
Right. Well, let me say this. I stand behind Brian Flores 120% because he said something that I think is so true. I think he's doing everything he can to better the situation for minorities. And I think that's what all of us who have been head coaches before truly want to do, is be able to have impact, to leave the right legacy for the young coaches that are coming behind us so they don't have to deal with some of the things that we've seen some of the other minority coaches deal with. It's very unfortunate, but again, I'm sure more things will come out over the next several days, but I think Brian Flores, I really applaud him for having the strength to step up and really say enough. And it's time to turn the page and open some of these things that's been happening to our minority coaches. I think we all know this has been the 101-year history of the league. There's only been 19 minority head coaches. So that's got to tell you something. I mean, numbers don't lie. I know sometimes they don't tell the truth, but boy, there's some numbers right there that I think we could really dig into and find out what's going on here.
All right. Well, again, everyone, we are here with the head coach, the new head coach of Grambling State University, the G-Man, Coach Hue Jackson. Getting there, Coach, we definitely appreciate your time for coming on. I think you guys are going to start doing some things about 3 o'clock Central, your time.
Yes, sir.
We will probably be off by then. But, Coach, listen, anytime you got anything that you want to say, you make sure you give us a call at the Black College Sports Network. We will get the information out for you. You know, between that and with the HBCU League Pass, we've got the entire world covered. And we'll make sure that you guys have that information.
I just want to thank Marcus and BJ. Obviously, what great guys. I can tell you guys are very passionate about this as well. And that says a lot, because I just think we need to do everything we can to shine the light on the HBCUs because they deserve it. And I think we need to do everything we can to get it better. How can we scale the HBCUs so that we're talking about them like we do all these other Power 5 schools across the country, because our men deserve it just as well as everybody else.
Well, Coach, if you can hang on just a second after we go to commercial, I can give you an answer for that one.
Okay.
All right, folks, you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back with more. We are here at the BCSN Game Time National Signing Day show. We'll be back right after this.
It's like a loop machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the SWAC is back. Florida A&M Rattlers, Texas Southern Tigers, where you at? First, the ladies of the Rattlers and Tigers start the show. Then, the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the SWAC title. The FAMU's fierce on the floor and anxiously await their arrival. This HBCU showcase will be electric. Don't miss it. TSU, FAMU, pull up, tap in. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language. And she really loves her grandson. Like really loves.
It's like a loop machine.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
It's like a loop machine. It's like a loop machine.
It's NBA TV, and baby, the swag is back. The Lady Rattlers and the Lady Tigers start the show. Then the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the swag title, but FAMU anxiously await their arrival. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
Hello and welcome back. We are here getting ready to get this thing going. We're going to continue where we were. Marcus was actually going through some of his things for the FAMU folks, but guys, before we jump back into that recruit, that was a great interview with Coach Jackson. And I'm, I was actually thinking about it. Before I asked that question, and I'd like to see. I was talking to Brian earlier today, Dr. B, and one of the things that we were talking about, we want to see change in these organizations, but it's not going to change. It's in the unfortunate reality. It's almost like going into somebody's house and telling them what furniture they have to have. Until we can find a way to band together and collectively move away from that space, there's not going to be anybody. But there are two new professional football leagues that are coming up. The USFL and the XFL are coming back out, and there's going to be a lot of places that are looking for coaches. Until the NFL feels it in their pocket, nothing is going to really change, in my opinion. So,
I mean, that's the truth. I mean, we saw it throughout the history of these United States of America. Change is often rooted in the economy and finances. You saw it with the Tea Party. Go all the way back then. Money has to be impacted. The Civil Rights Movement with the Montgomery bus boycott. Once you start hitting the revenue and finances, then that's when people have this change of heart. And I don't think that you can have a holistic change with the NFL until that happens. The NFL knows what their problems are. It's well documented. And you can't just put a stop racism sticker on the helmet or, in the end zone and fix it. It starts with your hiring practices and the things that you do day in and day out. And until we collectivize as a people and say, hey, we're not going to stand for it unless the players grow some type of a backbone, and it's going to be business as usual.
All right, Marcus, you got anything you want to say on it?
Well, NFL is the big behemoth. So I don't know to what degree we can affect the pocket. And just looking at the Colin Kaepernick events, the outrage only goes so far. And so it'll be interesting to see if all these allies that have collectively rallied behind some of the racial episodes going on since George Floyd, if they still remain as dedicated, or if they're going to say, well, I can avoid that. That's not my challenge, or that's not my reality. So this, bringing the legal aspect to it, though, having a class action lawsuit from Coach Flores and suing the NFL is a major step. I think it'll, we talked a little bit before, maybe offline and maybe a little bit online, about that book called The 50-Year Seduction, about the TV and how the 1980 to 84 Supreme Court ruling on the NCAA being a cartel, they having to release the colleges to be able to do their own TV deals. We may see the same type of ripple effect or even bigger, depending on the ruling, if this lawsuit progresses, and then depending on whatever ruling happens in terms of equal opportunity, in terms of fairness and hiring, and to what degree an entity that's as large and as profitable and so interwoven into the fabric of the United States and even globally, such as the NFL, what impact this lawsuit is going to have.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And, we do have some other discussions, because ultimately all of these things will be impacting all of us as we move, whether we're fans or whether we know and have folks who are in the league. But let's go ahead and jump right back into your continued analysis of what's going on at Florida A&M University.
Yes, potential signees. We'll start off again. Christian Miller, apparently at 12 noon today, committed to University of Georgia. So we will be updating that PowerPoint, unfortunately, for FAMU. There's still a couple who received offers, I want to say late this week or within the last 2 weeks or so. So these are relatively new names, if you will. And of course, the coaches know all the names because they're making the offers. But as someone who tries to track via social media, just tracking those names and keeping an eye out on who's signing and who hasn't. Cameron Segur, an athlete out of Eagles Landing Christian Academy, typically a power in the Class A private classification in Georgia. Tyreek Thorpe, wide receiver athlete out of Western High School in Davie, Florida, so some of the South Florida talent. Nayron Jenkins, another athlete at Buchholz High School in Gainesville, who progressed very far in the playoffs this year, I believe, either to the state semifinal, either the regional finals or state semifinals. Jack Brooks, local kid out of Tallahassee, Leon High School, didn't have a real successful season, but he was named the Tallahassee Democrat Big Ben Special Team Player of the Year. And that's very poignant because I believe FAMU is losing at least 2 kickers. I believe our All-American punter, Chris Fadul, may be graduating or exhausted his eligibility. Another backup, Julius Duarte, is leaving. And I believe we had at least one young man who was a kicker punter going the transfer portal. So we need some depth there. Michael Watson, linebacker out of Langston Hughes High School in Atlanta, suburban Atlanta. Very talented. We offered him, and I was surprised when I looked at his film at how, I don't know, I guess you wouldn't call him hidden, but I would have thought based on highlight films, taking that with a grain of salt, knowing it's all highlights, but that he didn't have offers at the group of 5 or power 5 level, or at least not as many as I thought were commensurate with his talent. And Christopher Williams, I actually have him on both lists for verbal and for potential signees and offensive linemen out of Tampa Catholic High School. So we'll see if these come through.
And I can tell you what Michael Watson, kid out of Langston Hughes, I think for him, I think it was just I think that's the pain of being in the Atlanta metro area. There's so many kids. We're talking about on the news that, the Atlanta metro area alone, produces over 100 Division I signees. It's not including the Division II and NAIA guys and guys that go the JUCO route. And I think that he kind of just got lost in the shuffle. But when you look at that young man, 6'3", 230 pounds, plays a linebacker position, has the ability to play sideline to sideline. He does exceptionally well in coverage with that 6'3" frame. I think that he's going to, if you look at him, he looks the way that a linebacker is supposed to look. He's a person looking in the uniform. Did some great things over there at Langston Hughes and that football program. Plays in space exceptionally well. If there is a or a growth opportunity towards game, it's going to be taking on the run, taking on those blockers. Sometimes he's not as strong, but that will develop as he get into college weight room, and he's going to pick up some weight. And it's going to be interesting to see with that 6'3", 230-pound frame, does he remain a linebacker at the collegiate level, or they transition him to maybe a defensive end? Because he definitely has the athleticism to be able to do that.
Oh, okay. That's a great insight. Now, actually transitioning, I know. I'm sorry, go ahead, Roy.
I just said BJ to Google.
Yes. So thank you. So hopefully he will sign on with FAMU and we'll see him in the fall going forward. Now, transitioning a little bit, and we touched on it anonymously, didn't use the names, but touched on it a little bit with Coach Simmons during his segment. Looking at the 2023 top offers. And I was thinking this morning, I was compiling this and kind of getting it in final fashion. And I was thinking if signing lists had walk-up music, either this one would be I Ain't No Joke or I Go to Work. Because you look at the players that FAMU has offered, we're offered the number one defensive lineman for class of 23, and he's the number 3 overall recruit. And he happens to be the son of our former AD, who's now the athletic director at Kennesaw State. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not for us. Anthony Hill, a linebacker out of Texas, who's number 10 in the 24/7 national rank on the #1 linebacker. And we offered him as a 9th grader. Richard Young, and we may have seen some noise about him in the December timeframe, the #1 running back for class of 2023, number 16 overall. And he mentioned that he will be taking official visits to FAMU and to Jackson State. Samson, and I hope I pronounced his last name, Okunlola, who's a number 36 prospect and a number 3 offensive lineman. Chandavian Bradley, who is a recent offer, I think in the last 2 weeks or so. He's the number 6 edge defensive end overall for class of 2023, and he's out of Missouri. Cedric Baxter, another running back from Florida, down in the Central Florida area. Raylan Wilson, an alum, and this is kind of what I was speaking to about Coach Jackson, was that Raylan Wilson's dad played at FAMU, Robert Wilson, and balled for the New Orleans Saints. And I think there was one other team, I don't know if it was the Minnesota Vikings, but he played in the NFL. His one son is going to Grambling this year. I believe he signed or at least committed to go to Grambling for class of 2022. But he's a 4-star linebacker. And last that I saw, he's committed to the University of Michigan. And he's playing right there in Tallahassee. So that's what I was speaking to Coach Jackson about. How do we get former NFL players and or the sons of FAMU football players or any HBCU football players to come home? And how do we make that happen? Braxton Myers, another recent offer, number 100 rated player, number 6 rated safety. Makari Vickers, another one. I skipped him by accident, but a DB 4-star out of right there in Tallahassee as well. St. John Paul, the second school, 4-star defensive back. His dad played at FAMU, and I think his dad recently may have left the position of being team chaplain. And then it just goes on and on with all these players that are very highly rated based on the 24/7 national rank and position rank. And these are the type of players that FAMU is offering now. And not that we haven't offered in the past, and I mentioned to you previously, Roy, and anyone who watched the 24/7 signing day special that came on, I guess it's been on since 9, but I caught the 11 o'clock segment. And it's all about HBCUs. They talked about the Coach Prime effect. And actually, Bryant McFadden, former FSU DB and former Pittsburgh Steeler, mentioned that, the times have changed because they had a few questions. And he mentioned that FAMU approached him when he was in high school. And I looked up his bio. Guess that would have been around 1999, 2000 timeframe when he signed on with FSU. And he said at the time, I had a thanks but no thanks type approach to it. And this would have been when Billy Joe was coaching and we were at the height of going to the playoffs and everything. So that kind of speaks to how the transition is happening and how the awareness has proliferated such that players who are highly rated are now actually considering taking official visits, coming to HBCUs, and in some cases like Travis Hunter and Kevin Coleman, taking that step to actually putting pen to paper and coming to HBCUs to realize their dreams at a collegiate level and hopefully an NFL level, and most importantly, get a degree.
All right. Yeah, that's where we are, man. Things are going along. We want to definitely, as we continue to move forward with the process, as you see up here, I got to remember, I'm really going to get really good at pointing to these things in the different corners. But the top right corner of your screen, want to shout out our folks over at HBCU League Pass that are doing their thing and helping us grow this product and getting a lot of things going on. You're going to hear a lot of noise from them over the course of the next few months as it relates to HBCU football and sports. And you'll be seeing some things that will be coming on. So we'll definitely continue to talk about that. As we are going, man, we're looking at this thing again, not realizing that most of these folks are actually going to be pushing their events and their official things back to a little bit later. And that's what we're seeing actually on their Twitter feeds and everything. I think Grambling right now seems to be the only ones actually pushing it out there. They are linked, hot and heavy, even though they have a 3 o'clock event that they're going to be streaming as well, 3 o'clock Central Time. Guys, let's look at some final thoughts. What are you thinking are some of the things that you are wanting to see happen in HBCU football? And then put on your Nostradamus hats and let's see, what do you think is going to be the biggest impact or biggest result of what happens, say, going into the next season? BJ, let's go ahead and start with you.
I would say the biggest thing is two things. Getting a grasp on NIL, what we can do, can't do, and being forward thinking with that. I think once we're able to do that, not only with NIL, but using the technology that we have now. Look, we're in a different day and age where I can reach kids sitting right here in this chair. We're pretty visible on social media here at the Black College Sports Network. I mean, I had someone reach out to me that's actually in Europe about the work that we do. We can reach people from right here in this chair. It's not like it was 30 years ago when we had the stamps and mail and those things. Take advantage of that technology. Sell your school, sell your program, using the internet, jumping into the modern world. A lot of us are doing that, but some of us are still lagging behind. So being able to do that, using also NIL, and then also seeing the success of having these new recruits to come in, these highly talented recruits to come in, seeing that translate on the football field and the basketball court where you see us going in and getting those wins over G5s. We've done it in the past. No reason why we shouldn't do it. Moving forward, getting those G5 wins, getting those wins over other FCS programs. And then on the backside, my Nostradamus hat, seeing that finish on the back end in the NFL draft. We're hopefully we're going to see it this year with Quill Glass. We talked about Marquise Bell, Jatari Carter from Southern University, Jacoby Durant from South Carolina State, Justin Williams from Fayetteville State, and so forth. But seeing that, seeing the entry point, we start talking about recruiting, bringing these kids in. But like I said earlier, the exit point, the NFL draft, and seeing these kids' dreams come true on draft day, that's going to open the door even more on days like this when we start talking about signing day, because we can say, hey, did you look at the NFL draft this year? Did you look at the NFL draft back in the spring, as opposed to saying what we say now, Walter Payton, Jerry Rice, and all these other names that are big, don't get me wrong, but that doesn't hold a lot of weight when you talk about these guys that are coming out now were born in, 2004 and 2005? So updating the resume, so to speak, for our schools and institutions. So I think that we are at the beginning of that, and that's why I like to see it. I think that it's slowly happening, and this spring could go a long way to moving that boat forward.
All right, Marcus.
Could you repeat the first part of the question? I remember the Nostradamus aspect, but repeat the first part.
What do you think is going to have the biggest impact of what's going on right now in HBCU sports? That was it was similar, kind of one question that evolved into two. What is going to have the biggest impact of what's going on as far as in HBCU sports right now? Or what is the biggest impact? And then what do you see it doing for it in the future?
I would also say the NLI, because it has the potential, maybe not to even the playing field, but raise it up to where it is, and to minimize some of the rationale, real or imagined, about HBCU sports being underfunded or not having as sufficient enough resources as compared to the PWI counterparts. The impact, I believe, will, as long as people, and when I say people, I mean parents and the recruits, continue to have an open mind and change their paradigm as it relates to the attendance of HBCUs for academic and athletic purposes. I think the ramifications of it is that we will see more events like a Travis Hunter, maybe not the #1 player, but a Travis Hunter, Kevin Coleman, and some of the other highly acclaimed high school talent actually come to HBCUs as their initial school of choice versus as a transfer. And I think ultimately, like BJ was saying, we want to see the payoff at the end where we have tangible evidence of someone who has NFL dreams having that dreams becoming a reality from HBCUs. And we have the 1-2 examples from Titus Howard, from
Alabama State.
Yes, no, not from Alabama. I'm trying to think of the other name. Tariq. I mean, not Tariq. Young man from North Carolina A&T.
Tariq Hill.
No.
You talk about Tariq Cohen.
Cohen,
Tariq Cohen,
not Hill. Cohen, yeah.
Tariq Cohen, and we see Darius Leonard, and we see various other folks, Javon Hargrave, and we see those examples, but we have to proliferate that a little bit more, so there's not perceived as just a one-off, or someone got lucky, or someone who didn't qualify and had to go to South Carolina State, but someone who willingly chose to attend an HBCU at whatever level, and they can achieve their professional dreams academically and athletically, and having that become more of the norm. So it doesn't seem as though it's an outlier. And I believe that'll happen, and we'll see examples of that. We see all the convergence of benevolence, if you will, for the HBCU Legacy Bowl and the HBCU Combine, and then having those things have staying power such that we get the exposure, and then we have some NLI funds that'll help to lift up the athletic departments, and then we have players who of high quality get the exposure and support that they need, such that the NFL is not a pipe dream as it relates to where you start from, but becomes more the norm.
All right, gentlemen. Well, first, I want to thank you all, or thank you too for joining us today. We want to thank Coach Willie Simmons of the Florida A&M University Rattlers and Coach Hue Jackson of the Grambling State Tigers. Two great coaches. This is going to be interesting. I think the HBCU product overall is in a renaissance. I believe we as a people and we as a culture are in a renaissance, and it's reaffirming the value that HBCUs have in this space and in this country. The impact that they had when you talk about the early 20s, the 30s, and the 40s, when we had to go to HBCUs and what was doing, and the caliber of people and athletes that came out of our HBCUs who literally helped shape the fabric of this entire country, and showing people that you can go to an HBCU, just like you said, Marcus, and you can get anywhere in the world that your heart desires from there, and being able to do that. So we want to make sure that all of our young folks know that and understand. Stay tuned. Of course, there's going to be stuff all throughout the day. I know Marcus is going to be in with Rattler stuff all over his going on for the next few hours. I'm sure BJ is going to be posting and doing his thing as well. So we've got a lot of other things coming on. There are a couple of shows going on tonight. I know the Orange Strike Zone is going to be happening, so I don't know if Marcus is going to be making his way over to hang out with the fellas tonight or not, but we are definitely looking forward to it. We are so looking forward to football season 2022, and we're not even out of basketball season yet, and hadn't finished, gotten baseball and softball started yet. This is a great time to be in the business that we are in, man, because we're in this business because we love our HBCUs, we love the product, and we love the schools. So it's a whole lot more than what most people are thinking about for us. This is a labor of love and a passion that we do this stuff for, and we are looking forward to continually to grow our product. So with that being said, make sure you go download the MyJBN app, MyJBN-MyBCSN. You can find it on all the platforms. Follow us on social media, MyBCSN and the number 1 on every platform. That's what we are. Sign up, register, follow, get ready, because like I said, in the next couple of months, you're going to start seeing a whole lot more stuff going in and kicking off. So we want to thank you guys for spending this time with us and getting it going. Again, one more thing too, with the basketball game on NBA TV this weekend. Make sure you check out Texas Southern versus FAMU, both men and women. I did not realize they were doing both games, so that's great. That game's going to be on this weekend again. And let's see, I have this thing here. I want to make sure I get the time right. The women's game is the pregame coverage starts at 1:30, and the women's game is at 2. Men play at 4:30. Those times are all Eastern, again, on NBA TV. Texas Southern makes their way down to the Lawson Center on the highest of Seven Hills in Tallahassee, Florida, looking to see if those Rattlers are going to be able to strike again. We do realize that the men's basketball team is probably one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in the SWAC right now. I believe they're on a 6-game winning streak, if I'm correct, Marcus. 6 or 7 now. There you go. So we're going to be looking to see that. That's going to be a big time matchup, and is going to go a long way to show what kind of teeth FAMU is going to have in the SWAC, because of course Texas Southern is last year's regular season champion. They were knocked out, but you talk about a team with a great coach and a great program over there. They're always going to be at the top. So we're definitely looking forward to that. So again, for BJ Jones, for Marcus Green, I am Roy Evans. This is the Black College Sports Network on HBCU League Pass. You all have a great afternoon, and we will see you soon.
Is back. The Lady Rattlers and the Lady Tigers start the show. Then the champ is here. Last season, TSU's men captured the SWAC title, but FAMU anxiously await their arrival. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Sorry. Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll